in the end of the day, what really decides if biogas in any form has a strong and promising future? Is it policy, technology, or what do you require?
It's all of those. So, society elects the politicians. Some of the politicians in some territories have strong environmental credentials. Other politicians will say, well, this is the future, whether society wants it or not, and then it's a case of how do you sell that. There's policy people in here that can sell it far better. But at the end of the day, the innovation and achieving that is going to come from chemists, chemical engineers, process engineers, material scientists. And then it's now, you mentioned at the very beginning, we're now at the front of the peloton. It's no longer the politicians. The politicians have set us the challenge. The regulators, Aisha, have got the stick. And then we work in symbiosis. Of course, it's that challenge of building a nascent market. And then, so my inspiration is probably wind generation. So a long time ago, they said, well, it's going to be impossible. Then, well, it's possible, but it's going to be expensive. But now with the developments and advances, we're now at cost parity. So I think we're behind wind generation, but with the same dedication, the same cooperation between the technologists, the regulators, the government, politicians, and society, I think we can do it.
Interesting. I was wondering, because you are working for a company that for many, many years has relied on fossil fuels, but now you are going green. Will this shift in your company also change the way that you organize and meet the new world? Because I ask this question because I've been working with energy utilities, and for energy utilities, they really have to change.
So we've got customers that need our energy product. So we're a niche, and at the moment the biofuel is a niche within that niche. But so there's transportation, which I'm here to talk about today. The big need is actually in decarbonisation of off-grid rural properties. A lot of customers rely on LPG. Heating oil is often their alternative. Biomass could be an alternative, but do we like air quality? So we need to, sort of satisfy a whole range of needs. It's only when you start working in the LPG business you realise how ubiquitous it is and how challenging it is, and the fact that it exists is because there's the need there. So we understand that as a family-owned business, it's quite interesting. So we have a shareholder, which is the family to answer to. And when you speak to the chair of the company, then her strategy is very simple. She wants to leave the company to the next generation of their family in better shape than she inherited it. And that focuses your mind.
Thank you so much for your answer. Are there any questions for Keith here in the audience? One in the back of the room there.
Is it working?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was just very curious here. Andreas Eklund from Ecopar AB in Sweden. Are you willing to pay something for biopropane, and how much? It can always be done, but what are you prepared to pay for it?
The market will decide. The regulators will decide. So at the moment, we're putting biopropane into those markets where there are incentives to do so. But that is not sustainable in the long term. So what we don't want to do is drive our customers to fuel poverty that can't afford to pay for something which is essential. I mentioned, warmth is essential. My grandmother came from Yorkshire, and if it was cold, she put a shawl on. And when my father was courting my mother, he put an extra lump of coal on the fire, and she took it off again and said, "What are you, Nesh?" I'm sure that word wasn't taught to you at school. But unfortunately, we've all become Nesh. We like warmth. The thermostat is not set at 15, 16. It's set at, 20? I don't know what the sort of accepted warmth level is here. But we want that. Now, of course, if we're affluent, we can afford to pay a little bit more of our salary and income in terms of heating and fuel demand. But if you're in the fuel poverty area, then we can have all the fiscal policies we like, but at the end of the day, it's our customers that will be harmed by having something uneconomical, which is why I go back to wind generation, and that's where we need to be. But to get cost reduction, it's going to come from chemistry, chemical engineering, process engineering, and the collective wisdom from people such as yourself. And we're not going to do it alone. Does that answer your question?
Another question from the audience? There's still time for that. No, okay. We thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You will have a small gift, Keith, as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.